Copyrighted song. Hi, hello guys. Welcome to Podcast Unbroken. I'm Roderick. We have Kaycee here, who was a collegiate athlete. Swim? Water polo too or no?
Water polo club during college.
Oh, okay. Cool. We're going to talk more about that later. This is Hudson. You guys know Hudson. Also, comment down below how old you think Hudson is. Do you think I'm older or is Hudson older?
I'll have to cut the part out where I said my age then before this.
Yeah, of course. We'll cut the whole first part out.
Yeah.
All right. So, Kaycee, let's hear about your collegiate career as a swimmer.
Well, first let's talk about upbringing.
Oh, snap. How did you grow up?
Yeah.
Who were your parents?
My parents.
Where did your parents grow up?
So my dad grew up in New Jersey, Garfield, New Jersey. My mom grew up in Sanford, Florida. My dad was a basketball player, and my mom was a horseback rider. She was world champion horseback rider.
Oh, dang.
Oh, that's dope. World champion.
Yeah.
So you traveled the world competing?
Yeah, traveled the world competing.
And would take her horse with her?
Mm-hmm.
Holy, that's crazy.
No big deal, man.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
I can barely afford to travel myself, let alone bring
Bring a large animal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my dad is a mechanic, and my mom is a high school teacher for 40 years. And she retired, I think 4 years ago. She retired from it. But she's been a coach and a PE teacher all through her career. So I feel like sports was kind of interjected into my life because of her, for sure.
Yeah.
My parents, I don't know what my parents, my dad played basketball a little bit. He was basketball recreationally with all the other dads in the cul-de-sac. All the sports that he did.
It's all sports.
It's a bunch of old men just talking crap about each other and missing free throws all the time. But yeah, that's cool if your parents are already into.
Super athletic.
Yeah.
Did you ride horses?
I did not. I was scared to death of horses.
Me too.
And my father was like, thank God you were afraid of horses because that is an expensive sport and we don't have the money for it. And then, so growing up, I kind of did everything. I didn't really find swimming until I was 7 or 8 years old when I was in gymnastics all growing up from when I was 3 until 8 or 9, I think. And then my coach was kind of like, well, you either go on team and you start training for the Olympics or you quit now because, you're getting taller, you're getting to that age where you make that decision. And my mom just said nope and dropped me off of the pool the next morning. She didn't want
Really?
me. She did not want me to
Train your life away?
So I fell off of the bars and landed on my head. And my mom was like, no, we're not doing this. You're going to start swimming. So it was kind of, I don't know, it was weird. I definitely liked gymnastics, but once I started winning races in swimming, I was like, oh, this is cool.
Cool.
This is cool.
Yeah, winning's fine.
Yeah, winning's fun. And then I started swimming club from the time I was 8 until high school. And
Did you crush it in high school?
I was okay in high school. I really didn't break out until college. I was kind of in high school I was the kid that was super naturally talented but didn't want to work hard. So
my next door neighbor was a super skinny, lengthy black kid. Looked like a dork. He didn't look like a dork, but he looked like he was trying to be the cool kid and try to fit in. And then he would literally go to football practice, and the coach would be on him, oh, you should take blah blah blah, all over him. And he'd just be an idiot and not go to the practices and get Fs.
Well, was he good?
Yeah, he could have gone to college. He could have got a free ride to a D2 at least. He was really skinny. He had to gain weight.
What did he play?
He played receiver.
Okay.
And he was just naturally gifted, and he was just really good, but he was just a knucklehead.
Do I know him? Was he my grade or yours?
I think he was your grade. I think it was Michael Prayer.
Sounds familiar. We went to the same high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And
Were you guys friends in high school?
No, we were totally different, groups of friends.
Okay.
Yeah. But, no, our high school football team was really good. So
Yeah.
that's
Mine
nice.
too.
So, as you were?
Ours were better, sorry.
Pardon?
as you were. So, yeah, sorry for interrupting.
No, it's okay. So yeah, swam in high school, and for whatever reason, I would get to, I'd get to regionals or state, and I would just always place 9th at the end of the rope, and it was kind of 9th. It's 1 through 8, so if you're not top 8, you don't go into finals. So it was kind of I was always placing 9th, and not having the endurance to get to the end of the race because I was just, I didn't care type of attitude. And then I think my senior year was when things financially started getting bad because that was 2008. So that was when the recession and everything happened, and my parents were kind of like, you're gonna have to swim in college. So my senior year, I really
Train your butt off?
trained my butt off for sure. My junior to senior year. I had my junior year, I started getting looked at by recruiters, bigger colleges, D1, D2, and I was an idiot and went tubing like, I don't know, the week before regionals, and I did something in my knee, I don't know what it was, pulled a ligament, kneecap went out of place, and I could not swim at state. So that was a big, like...
All the training just down the drain?
All the training, all the hard work, and I was like, now I can't, shit, like I can't swim and at state. So I went to state and watched my whole team swim, and I was just crying the whole time, like hysterically crying. And then all of these colleges came to watch me swim, and then they just stopped looking at me because I was injured, like 17-year-old girl. They're not gonna recruit me to their college to be redshirted my freshman year. So I just trained really hard. And then the college I ended up going with was SCAD, and they're a Division I NAIA school, so they're not like NCAA, but it's a nationally ranked division. And they said it was an art school, and I was an artist growing up, and they told me they would give me, close to a full ride, and then depending on how I performed, they would give me a full ride in the future. And I went to SCAD, and that team was my family. And after my freshman year, we won nationals, I won nationals, and I started looking at my numbers, comparing them to D1 schools, like, because I wasn't in love with SCAD yet, and I kind of was just like, I don't want to do art school and swim. I just want to swim and be really good at swimming and go somewhere with swimming, and that's just kind of where my head was. So I went to my coach after nationals, and I was kind of like, this is what the girls swam at Florida and Florida State and LSU and UCLA, and those are the schools that I was looking at in the beginning, and I was like, this is what the breaststrokers were swimming, and that's what I'm swimming. Mm-hmm. So either I get more money or I'm gonna move on. So he kind of, I guess, scrapped the money together, and I ended up staying. And then after training with my team that summer, I was like, this is my home, I'm not gonna leave my team. So I stayed all 4 years at SCAD, and we won nationals my sophomore year. My junior year, I think we got second, and my senior year we got second. But it was a really good run. It was fun, for sure.
So
a lot of hard work.
When you say raise money, you're saying they need to be able to cover more of your scholarship?
Yeah, they needed to figure out how to cover.
I was like, do you want to disclose that they're paying?
That's illegal.
No, they had to find the money within the program, obviously.
Okay.
Figure out which freshmen they're going to take on, or new swimmers and stuff. So, but then that coach ended up getting fired for embezzling money from the college and all this other crazy stuff. So
sick.
That's another interesting fact.
Yes, that blows. So how was training? So I've never really swam ever, just for fun. Mm-hmm. It's not for fun. It's for training, but I suck at it. But so what type of training do you guys do to train for swimming?
Training is different there's 3 different kinds of swimmers. So there's distance swimmers, there's mid-distance swimmers, and then there's sprinters. I was a sprinter, but I trained mid-distance for half the year, probably up until, from summer until, I want to say Christmas time. I would train mid-distance because I swam to 200 breasts, and that's considered mid-distance. And then from Christmas until March, which was nationals, I would train sprint. So distance people are in the water for a full 2 hours, and they're swimming their distance stuff.
What's the distance, 10K, 5K? How far they go?
500 yards, a mile, 1,000, all the distance stuff. Mm. And then mid-distance is 200s for the 400 IM, that type of endurance. And then sprinters are 50s and 100s and sometimes 200s, depending on, what
they're capable of.
Yeah.
That's what I would want to do.
So
get it over with quick.
Yeah.
Sprinters are usually only in the water for like an hour and 15, hour and 30 minutes.
Only?
And then everyone else is in the pool
For
2
all
hours.
of training.
For all of one training session. So morning session is 2 hours long, and then you have weights right after that. And then
So what type of exercises would you guys do?
so for dry land, they call it dry land because you're not in the pool.
Land lovers.
Yeah, so we do a lot of like the TRX bands that we have here in the gym. We would do a lot of that kind of strength training. We would do a lot of banded workouts and medicine balls before getting into the pool. So that was kind of like we got there early, 20 minutes, and did that kind of mobilizing.
Yeah.
And then, and stretching, and then we jump in the pool for 2 hours. And then we would go to the weight room where we had I think I've showed you guys pictures of him, Coach Carter. He's like a super well-known strength and training coach on the East Coast. And we would lift weights for 45 minutes to an hour. And it was a lot of, pretty similar to what you do in CrossFit. It was a lot of heavy deadlifting, heavy back squat, front squat, pull-ups, a lot of running with weights. Like he would have us run. I remember the first day I was a freshman, he had us grab like everyone grabbed a 45-pound weight, girls and guys, and we just ran outside until we were basically in tears and bleeding. Like it was really intense. But I guess that was just for him to let everyone know, like, this isn't a joke. We take weight training seriously. You guys have to work hard.
So now, when you were in high school, were you doing Were you doing deadlifts and stuff like that?
I was, because I was on the weightlifting team in high school.
Oh, cool.
I was on I guess it would be the Olympic lifting team in high school.
But other swimmers weren't.
No.
So I wonder if that's what like made your teams. You said you placed like second and then second again. It's like back-to-back years. I wonder if that's what I wonder if a lot of some programs aren't doing that, and that's what like gave you guys the edge. It sounds very interesting. From what I recall, like my girlfriend in high school swam and did water polo, and the water polo did a lot of weightlifting. Swimmers didn't really like. I think they did. I don't think they went to the weight room at all. I think they did like a lot of abs, a lot of like body weight accessory work. I don't think they went to the weight room.
Yeah. For, I think, collegiate swimmers, and I think more now high school, I know my high school coach now, he has implemented like weights before swimming. So they're in the weight room now. But when I was there, we weren't in the weight room. And, but I definitely think that lifting weights like I was in college is 100% why I was so much stronger and moved through the water so much faster.
Especially for a sprinter.
Yeah, especially because
I feel like weightlifting goes hand in hand with sprinting.
Yeah, because when you think about it, when you're pushing off the wall, like you're exploding off of that wall really, really fast, trying to get off as fast as possible. And then the pulling movement is like, that's pretty much, any type of heavy lifting or pull-ups especially. And it's a lot of core work, but I feel like I felt like my core was a lot stronger when I was swimming because it has to be. Because if your core isn't strong, then your body's going to kind of sit like this in the water, and then it's going to resist. So if your core's strong, your body kind of sits more like this.
You almost need to like stay hollow a little bit.
It's really interesting how all that works. So when I would not train if I was a total jerk during the summer and didn't train for a month and got back in the pool, I totally felt myself like moving like this through the water.
That's how I move now.
Yeah, that's
it's like essentially like me if you on the floor.
Just doggy paddling.
Yeah.
Just like my legs just dragging through the pool. My coach is like, so you didn't swim this summer? I'm like, nope. Shows. Yeah, this is going to be hard. But yeah.
That's freaking brutal. And during this entire time, you were just eating like everybody else?
Yeah, I was eating like an animal.
Yeah.
Just,
much food, like Michael Phelps?
Yeah, I think that whole article that everyone saw when it came out, I guess, I forget which news.
12,000 calories.
Yeah, the 12,000 calories a day. I think that week, our strength and training coach brought us all to Kroger in downtown Savannah. And it was like 60 of us. Like this is a huge girls and men's and women's swim team. And we're all in Kroger together. And he's just telling us like what we can and can't eat. And we were we had our carts, we were loading up our carts like roommates together. It was really cool, but he was just like, you guys have to eat, or you're not going to gain. You guys burn swimming, you burn more calories than anything. it's a really high intensity workout and you're using every muscle in your body. So I was starving after swimming, like dying to eat something. So I was eating a lot.
Yeah, was like, what's
7,000.
like a typical day? Let's hear it.
When I was swimming, I would try to do 7,000 calories a day.
So can you break us down? Like what you eat in the morning?
This is so bad.
Let's hear it.
In the morning, I think I'd eat like 4, 5, maybe 6 eggs. I would do the bag of the frozen shredded potatoes.
Nice.
I would load those up and eat, 4 pieces of bacon. And then I would go, this is terrible, and then I'd go to school, and I usually randomly would have like sweet potatoes or I would say, I think I remember two grilled chicken breasts in my backpack with sweet potatoes, and I would warm up the sweet potatoes in the microwave, which is terrible, but I would do that. And I would eat 2 sweet potatoes and 2 chicken breasts for lunch.
That's terrible. I can't believe you did that.
Yeah. And then I would go, so that would be lunchtime, and then I'd go back to train at 6. And before that, I usually would have, it would just depend on where I was. I ate a lot of Chick-fil-A in college.
Oh,
but,
I love Chick-fil-A.
I would probably say I'd eat more chicken and maybe like some green juice smoothie thing that I made with yogurt and frozen fruit in it and protein, like whey protein. I'd swim and then come home and cook like a steak or something. Steak and a baked potato with sour cream and cheese and bacon and all the stuff on it.
So easy.
What was your diet? And this was once your coach started telling you what to eat?
Yeah.
What were you eating before then? Were you eating like not as healthy? It sounds like you...
She's like, well, I'd wake up and get some Mickey D's.
I definitely wouldn't eat just wasn't eating as much because I really didn't, and I still don't know if I fully, like my brain just doesn't want to believe that if you eat more, your body will...
Exactly. Yeah.
How your body reacts to that. So I definitely wasn't eating enough. And then once I started eating like that, I started seeing like huge differences in my performance. And even the people, my parents came to visit me, I think like 3 months after me being in college and training.
You're just like, hey,
and I met them at dinner. And I was like this. And they're like, are you okay? You are huge. Your arms are gigantic. And I'm like, sorry guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Did you like looking like that?
At the time, I didn't mind it because I just kind of thought to myself, like, I'm a collegiate swimming athlete. This is what the girls look like. This is what it looks like. Like when I was a breaststroker, so you're a little bit stockier and shorter. I was definitely the smallest girl out there every time I got behind the block.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I'm short. 5'5", 5'7". Yeah, you're so fucking short.
So like anytime I got to like a nationally ranked meet, I was behind the block with girls that swim in the Olympics that just tear it up, and I'm like this compared to those girls. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. They'd be like waiting at the wall when I'd be coming in.
So how old were you when you started swimming?
7 or 8 years old.
Okay, so you didn't start like way behind the curve or anything.
No, I didn't. But I know a lot of people that did start right behind the curve, and they're swimming in the Olympics now, which is insane. Like I know some guys that started in high school and are competing in the next Olympics.
Was the Olympics ever a dream of yours?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what took you away from that, or did you pursue that, or you stopped doing it? Or?
I qualified my senior year of college, and I kind of had to make the decision in the 100 breast only. I had my conversion time from short course to long course made it in, so I could have competed and gone, but I decided to finish college and move to New York instead of continuing to train and going to trials. And then if I would have done that, then I wouldn't have been able to finish school, then like finish my degree. Mm-hmm. I would have had to come
safer route.
Yeah, I would have had to come back to school without a scholarship and pay for that last quarter, which I would not have been able to do. So I decided to finish school and get a job. And now I wish I didn't do that.
So now you wish you could go back in time
Yeah.
and just send it.
Yeah. They pick the first 2 people, the fastest 2 people of every heat, like every, not every heat, I can't even talk right now. Every event, the first 2 people go, that's it, 1 and 2. Go to the Olympics, make it on the American team. But I definitely would have been, with my time, I would have been top 40 for sure.
So, for the Olympic trials, how many people go? How many people would you be competing against?
There's usually, I think, around 100 per event. So that's, there's 8 people per heat, so I can't do math. You can do it. It's a long process.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the top 2 out of all those.
Mm-hmm. Top 2 people that touch the wall go on the team. And the second person that comes into the second place person, they could be an alternate. They don't necessarily have to, actually swim.
Just get all the swag, all the USA swag, and not swim. That'd be fine.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty, I'd be sad, but just to be on a relay would have been really cool.
Yeah.
Because they have people that don't even swim regular events, but they're on the relays because that's what they're good at.
Dang, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So after that decision to not go to the Olympic trials, etc., so we know now that you're vegan, right?
Yeah.
And so going from eating 7,000 calories a day to be like, when did that happen? Like, when did that transition happen?
So it's kind of funny. My junior year of college, my uncle who lives in San Diego, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and he reversed his cancer, most of his cancer, with a raw vegan diet, and he lived for, I want to say almost 2 years longer than what he was supposed to because of his diet change. And that was my junior year of college. And my senior year of college, I kind of wanted to try out the whole vegetarian thing, and I tried to do it, and I think I got to halfway through season and I was like, I can't do this. I don't have enough energy. And I was young and I didn't have like the drive to try to figure out, okay, like how do I eat?
You didn't research it, you just like did it on a wing.
No, I just did it on a wing, and I was like, this is not working. I just need to do it the way that I was doing it before.
You just have a big old Tupperware broccoli, like,
yeah. So then when I moved after I graduated college, I moved to New York, and I was in New York for, I want to say 2 years. And then one day I just came home and cold turkey, I just threw everything out that was in my refrigerator and decided to go vegan. And I read this book called The China Study, and it talks all about plant-based diet. And I actually try not to use the word vegan, but to people who don't know what most people know what vegan is. But then when you say whole food, plant-based diet, they're like, okay, so can you eat this and this and this? And it gets confusing, but...
So you eat wholesome food?
Yeah, I eat a whole food, plant-based diet, pretty much.
So
99% of the time.
So my brother, he's vegan, but like he'll eat, whatever he can find that doesn't have dairy and all this other stuff in it. But like it can be like a bag of chips just and have the stuff that he can't eat in it. You know what I mean? Like he'll still eat whatever, and like he's kind of like on the heavier set side. He's not like overweight, but he's not like lean by any sense. So like that, I see what you're saying now. Versus vegan versus whole food plant-based.
Well, I say whole food plant-based diet because I walk around with a leather Gucci bag, so I can't really say, oh, I'm vegan, because when you say the word vegan, you're speaking to like, okay, if you wear leather, if you wear fur, anything to do with animals, like even my car, like I have leather seats in my car and I don't drive an electric car. So it's like it's more like a political.
I see. I never thought of that.
So for me, being a mass market shoe designer, working with leather and owning leather bags, it doesn't really work out. The V word.
I never thought of it.
Say the V word.
I never thought it was so deep like that.
Yeah, it is. It's really intense. Like I've had people. I remember when I first started, I had like on my Instagram account the word vegan, and people would attack me for like having leather shoes and leather bags. So I was like, all right, I guess I need to make it say plant. Yeah.
We should put that on our Instagrams and see what people say.
Yeah.
See if
Vegan.
CrossFit.
Yeah, I'll put CrossFitter, but I'll go to like pump session only. Like I'll go to LA Fitness and be like, yeah, I do CrossFit.
Yeah.
You're a vegan crossfitting. I don't know, Republican. What else?
What else can be
Maybe the
controversial?
weirdest, the weirdest combo of characteristics.
Yeah.
But how has that affected your training? Because you went vegan.
5 years ago.
Sorry, you went whole food, plant-based diet. You tried to go. When you were swimming.
Yeah.
Could not hang.
Nope.
With what you were competing. Do you think if you know what you know now, you can go back in time and eat enough?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So it was just not knowing that kind of took you back to the performance route.
Yeah, for sure. It was not knowing what I was putting in my body and really not caring. I just was like, I just have to eat this because I have to eat this, and that was it. And if I would have taken the time I've taken now to really research and read and listen, then I totally could have made it work. It would have been really expensive, but
you would made it work.
Yeah.
So with that being said, now you're doing CrossFit, and you said you did things that were similar to CrossFit. You were in the weightlifting club while you were in college.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel now? And do you think if you went and started eating how you used to when you were swimming, what would you like? What would the differences be?
It would. When I first started doing CrossFit here a year ago, I found it very hard to get through a workout. I was gassed halfway through. I felt really tired and like I really couldn't get through the full workout to my full potential, and I was really frustrated. And so I just started reaching out to vegan athletes on Instagram and kind of just asking them like, what do I need to do? Like how, even specifically CrossFitters, because I'm like, how the F do these people do this? Like, what am I doing wrong?
Right.
So I reached out to a couple people, and I think even Shauna, one of the coaches here, I sat down with her for a little bit, and she kind of gave me some insight, and she just gave me a bunch of references to reach out to other people, just because she didn't know enough about it, and veganism is kind of like a really hard thing to figure out. And so I started reaching out to these people, and this one guy actually answered me and was like, you have to eat until you feel like you're gonna vomit every time you eat, because you have to eat so much more dense food than someone who,
it's so much harder.
So much more than someone who can eat steak or chicken.
Pop-Tarts.
So I reached out to it's the RP.
Okay, RP Strength.
RP Strength. I got the vegan templates, and I
didn't know they had that.
Yeah, they have the vegan templates. I bought the book and everything, and I did it for a month, and I felt every time I ate, I felt like I was gonna vomit.
For real?
It was insane. Like, I was eating so much, it was crazy, and I just almost felt like it was too much.
What were you eating? I'm just really curious. Like, what was your meal?
So for
breakfast?
Breakfast, they had me eat a protein shake. Well, it depended on like if you worked out in the morning or at night. So if you worked out in the morning, you drink a protein shake while you were working out.
Pea and rice protein?
Pea protein is pea, and I think hemp has the most protein. You absorb the most protein out of pea and hemp. So I kind of like went to Trader Joe's and I bought one of their proteins and another one, and I mixed them together.
Yeah.
And then I'd have I think you saw me come in with like overnight oats, which was like a 1.5 cup of gluten-free rolled oats with, I would put coconut yogurt in there, chia seeds, and some dried fruit. And I would eat that right after I worked out.
Okay.
Then I would go home. I meal prepped these veggie burgers like every week because they're so easy, and I just eat them without thinking about it. And I would have 3 veggie burgers.
How do you make those?
They're sweet potatoes, black beans, salt, pepper, gluten-free, flour. I put cilantro in mine, onion.
You would ground this all up into a patty?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you
Sounds delicious.
cook it, you ground it all up. There's walnuts in there too. And you make little patties. And I grill them, and then I freeze them or refrigerate them so that they're already done, and I just have to put them on the stove or oven or whatever. So I'd eat 3 of those, and it's usually like a meatball size per patty. So they're not huge, but they're not small. And then I would put a bunch of spinach and usually like mango or frozen apples in a smoothie, and I'd have a big smoothie while I eat just the veggie burgers. And then I'd come.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, and then I'd come here, I'd do breakfast, then I'd do lunch, and then I'd go to yoga, and then after yoga, I would have to eat a salad with hummus or rice and black beans, and then I'd come back here for barbell or for CrossFit, and then I'd go home again and eat like 3 more veggie burgers and I don't know, like a freaking salad and sweet potatoes, and I felt like I was gonna vomit every time. Every time I ate, I felt like I was just
ingesting so much food.
Yeah. So
how did you feel though?
I was definitely
energy-wise.
I felt better. It just was a lot of food, and I didn't feel like I was seeing. I only did it for a month, but I just got really frustrated and didn't feel like I was seeing the results that I wanted to.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask
right
next.
away. Like I felt like I just got really fluffy, and I just couldn't figure out how to. I feel like I still haven't gotten it down to a science. And then I reached out to the same guy that answered me on Instagram.
Who was it? If we mind doing.
I honestly don't even remember. I could look through my phone and find out. But he said you're probably eating more fat than you realize that you are. So then I started cutting like all oils whatsoever from any cooking I was doing.
Okay.
And then I started seeing a difference. I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense.
What'd you use instead?
I just didn't use oil at all. Like when I cook, I usually don't.
Just a pan, like a
just
non-stick
pan and silicone like baking things for when I make the veggie burgers or when I grill veggies. I have this silicone pan basically, and you just throw them in there, and you don't have to use oil.
Right.
And they just cook really amazingly. Actually, I love that thing. But even now, I mean, I still feel like I don't have it down to a science, but it would definitely be easier to eat meat, 100%.
So, hearing about all the stuff that you were prepping and making,
Yeah.
like you make your patties and then cook them, then freeze them and do all this stuff and like
Yeah.
eat so much throughout the day. It's like I've been cutting out gluten or most wheat stuff and dairy, and it's like it makes it harder to meal prep. But then even then, it's like I couldn't imagine like if I couldn't just grill a patty, I have to make a whole patty and then do all these extra steps. Like it's
a lot of work.
commitment.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't do all the work that I do. Like there's all sorts of like meal. I remember in New York for a while, I wasn't training like this or working out like this while I was there. I was not healthy while I was there. But there's this plant-based, it was called Purple Carrot. So they're a plant-based company that will ship food to your house and you prep it. And then they have a TB2 program, which is like the Tom Brady version because he's a whole food plant-based diet person.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't eat meat.
Oh, wow. Is that why he looks so skinny and...
Yeah.
You need to get him in contact with your guys so you can bulk up a little bit.
Yeah, so he's looking a little skinny lately. But him and his wife, like I was telling you, I think the other night when you were over at the house, they don't eat dark nightshades.
Yeah, you were.
So they stay away from
tomatoes
and I want to say what else are nightshades? Like
Enlighten me. What is a nightshade?
Means
something
like vegetables that grow
underground.
Grow underground. So potatoes. I think it's underground.
I should probably know that.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
I don't know.
So they grow in the dirt, essentially.
Let's look this up.
Because they're more.
Keep talking.
They're more acidic to the body.
Okay.
So they inflame.
I'm pretty sure Tom Brady also says you should be drinking like 5 gallons of water a day. Don't do that. You will die.
5 gallons.
Yeah, you'll drown.
Maybe if you wear full pads
You'll
and
drown
you train
yourselves.
in 90-degree weather, then maybe.
Yeah.
Even
You
then.
flush your system out
Shit.
totally. But I was ordering from them, and it was great. But for me, I guess now I like to see what's going into my food, or I like to know what's going into it, because even now when I make banana bread, I used to use my grandmother's recipe, and now I've like kind of finagled my own vegan recipe, and my grandmother's, I would use like a whole cup of sugar, and I would just watch the sugar go into the bowl, and I'm like, this is a lot of sugar for freaking banana bread. Like one loaf of banana bread has that much sugar in it.
It's delicious.
So I like to see what goes into my food, and I think that's why I insist on prepping my own food every week, but that's just personal preference. And I hope I figure out how to eat for CrossFit, but I don't know if it'll ever happen.
Tough. I went to Shogun, which is like that. I don't. What's it called? The type of restaurant that is, like where they cook in front of you. I can't.
It doesn't have a normal definition of nightshade, but it just gives some examples: white potatoes, tomatoes, eggplants, bell peppers, cayenne pepper, paprika. Oh, cayenne pepper! I love hot sauce. It just says they contain an alkaloid called solanine, which is toxic in high concentrations. However, there's not. It also says that they cause inflammation, but it's not supported by evidence if they actually do that. But people believe that they aggravate arthritis and inflammation. So, yeah, those are delicious vegetables.
Delicious things that Tom Brady does not eat.
At Shogun the other day, I went and I didn't eat the rice there, but the first thing they do is they make like a fried rice.
With like a stick of butter?
First off, they got a huge lump of butter, but they also like, so it's funny, like he'll add like some onions and peppers, whatever, and then he'll add the rice, and then he throws a bunch of soy sauce. Mix it up, blah, blah, blah. More soy sauce, butter. Okay, soy sauce, something else. It's like, Jesus,
salt
dude.
and butter.
Yeah.
Salt and butter.
Yeah, that's why everyone loves fried rice, because all it is just fats and saturated fat.
So Tom Brady suggests that you drink 37 glasses of water a day. Which is 2.5 gallons.
37 8-ounce glasses?
Yeah. Don't do that. You'll die.
People struggle drinking freaking 2 glasses a day.
That's true. I have trouble drinking enough water.
Some aminos, man. Take some aminos, put them in your water.
Ugh. I don't want aminos. I just want water.
No, obviously not.
Well, I've been better. I've been getting better.
Okay.
I'm trying to increase my health. So that's why I'm interested in all this whole food, plant-based diet, because those veggie burgers sound delicious.
They are very good.
But one thing that I haven't really talked about, I find myself when I'm eating like large amounts of protein recently, like this is probably like the last few months, I start getting not nauseous, but I know that it's an animal, and I start like freaking myself out, and sometimes I'll be eating like large bulky meals, and I'm like, man, I have a hard time eating the food now.
Because you think of the
Because
animal.
I'm thinking of like what it is, like this is a chicken, and then it makes me like start getting nauseous, and it's always happened with fish. I mean, I don't really care about fish, but just like knowing they're swimming through the not because I care about fish, but it's like I think fish are gross. But when I eat sushi and I'm thinking about fish, it's like gross. But now I'm eating like steak or I'm eating chicken, and when I start getting full and I'm pushing the limit because I'm trying to gain weight, maybe it has a little bit to do of me eating too much food, but it's still like the thought of it being like I can continue to eat the rice and the veggies. Okay, I'm eating the chicken. I'm like, ugh. This is disgusting, this is gross. Or I see like a little pink, and it's just like, ugh, it grosses me out. So, yeah.
Well,
I'm not saying I'm going to a whole plant-based diet, but like if I can introduce more things like that and not have to eat as much protein from that source, I feel like that'd be better.
Yeah.
So.
There's some documentary that came out a couple of years ago, everyone was talking about, where it's like, if you watch the documentary, you're not going to want to eat meat ever again. And obviously I didn't watch it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It's either Cowspiracy or What the Health. Probably What the Health.
Maybe. That one's
It was like 2 years ago.
Was it?
Yeah,
let's see.
Recent.
Let's see if What the Health is the one that had a bunch of false claims in it, talking about how carbs don't make you fat.
Oh, well, it's like
I think that's probably.
Is that what it was?
I think thinking about like when I'm shopping and like they have like the organic or the grass fed versus like the regular stuff, and it's like obviously a huge price difference, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, let's get the cheaper stuff, obviously. But in my head I'm like, yeah, but then you see it somewhere, like it's all over the place, like the cows, like the horrible living conditions, they're like living on top of each other, like pigs living in like their own like literally just like piles their own shit, and it's like the chickens like literally on stacked top of each other. There's so many of them, or like they're stuffed in a cage that barely fits their freaking body, and it's like that makes it a little bit more.
Yeah, when you see that stuff, it kind of When I started to do my research and see that stuff is after I changed to a whole food plant-based diet. So it was kind of like a different feeling for me because I know that I wasn't eating that anymore. But knowing kind of where I guess our culture has gone with like factory farmed animals is insane.
Mm-hmm. Well, because back in the day, well, from what I've seen like, you know, humanely killed animals. And my sister is really big into like whole food plant based. She does eat meat every once in a while, but she gets the meat from like they raise the animal and then like they take the animal outside of the facility they have and they like, you know, like make sure it's comfortable and then they kill it, which to me it's still really weird. But yeah, like humanely killed if there is a way. You know?
Yeah, I've definitely. That is a big thing also. Like, I guess there's just, I hear a lot of people say, like, growing up on a farm and, like, you raise these animals from when they're teeny tiny into a big animal and then you humanely kill them and blah, blah, blah. I think that's, like, kind of more, you know, how the world's supposed to be. But
right.
at the same time, it's just still a little weird to me. I'm like, yeah, this pet pig for its whole life.
Well, I think you intentionally don't go emotions to it because you know it's going to be food.
No, I don't even think it's that. I think it's the fact that at a time, like, it was a necessary thing to do, like, if you wanted to survive.
Yeah.
It wasn't, oh, okay, I'm going to kill this because it's delicious. It was, okay, we don't have any crops, we don't have anything to eat.
Yeah.
Sorry, Piggy. Sorry, Betsy. Like, we have to eat you or else we're going to die. It was like out of necessity, but then it slowly grew into like, ooh, if I have more pigs, then I can sell to the people who don't know how to do this or don't want to do it. You know? Because that's what I think. I don't know if
well, I feel like when they do it every single time, they're not crying killing the pig. It's like they probably get used to it. It's like, okay, I know the drill. I know, hey, you know, maybe I do love this pig. Maybe we do become like buddies, and like the pig has a personality. And you like the pig, but then also like to be able to do that routinely, you have to. Well, you got to have that separation.
Yeah. Well, you have to be good at it, and because I feel like even when you don't want to become friends, it's like having like a friend with a dog. You're like, that dog's ugly. I don't like that dog. And then, like, you know, it's like whatever. But then that you like that dog you like see that dog often. You're like, all right, that dog's all right. I feel like if you're taking care of an animal of any sort, like you would have some sort of attachment. But again, knowing the necessity of having to do those things. It's like my uncles, they have animals and stuff, and he came over, he's like, hey, we're gonna go kill a pig, you're killing it. And I was like, no, I can't do that, I don't think I can do it.
And you didn't even know the pig.
Yeah, I don't even know that pig, yeah. Fuck it, I didn't even know the pig, I couldn't do it. So I didn't go with him to do it, but I mean, I ate that night, you know, like, but it's something he's grown up doing, you know, so he can compartmentalize, or he can just, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe he's just mean. Right. Maybe he's real mean. Okay.
No,
just enjoyment out of it.
Yeah. But. So do you have any more questions?
So currently, you're still playing with like what works for you in the sense of how you can energize yourself for workouts.
I'm honestly still trying to figure it out. Like I have it down to a science that if I have a cup of oatmeal with dried fruit and a little bit of maple syrup before I work out, and then I usually have like a cold brew coffee and a little bit of orange juice before I get here, and then I drink my protein shake throughout the workout, I can get through with no problem in the morning. And then I've noticed that if I come here at night, if I don't eat enough throughout the day, it's kind of hard for me to get through the CrossFit workout. It's a little harder at night for some reason, which you'd think like eating all day or having a chance to eat the full day worth of food and then coming here, I'd have more energy, but it's just kind of, I think I hit the end of the day and I'm just, my mind is like, it's time to go night and not be here. So I try to get here in the morning because I feel like it's ingrained in my brain to just get it out of the way in the morning, just from swimming my whole life. But I still feel like I'm trying to figure it out, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I have two things. So if anybody who's watching is interested in getting into a whole plant-based diet, what is like one thing that you would tell them you wish you did before? Just one thing. You only get to pick one thing.
Maybe would you say like start small? Because like you quit cold turkey. A lot of people can't do that with a lot of things.
I would say don't do it cold turkey. I would say ease your way into it, because I feel like I kind of put my body into a shock, and it was like a really bad time to do it because I was in the middle of market week in New York City and I was angry AF and I had to like present to Saks and Bloomingdale's, and freaking I wanted to literally bite everyone's head off because I was just
your body was just getting like the sugar.
I was going
no
through
sugar withdrawals. Yeah.
During the biggest like sales week in New York City in fashion, and I was doing it right in the middle of it like an idiot.
Good choice. Good choice.
So yeah, I'd say ease into it.
Okay. And then
I would say cut dairy first.
Really?
That's what I would suggest.
Dairy hasn't been too bad. I've done that.
Yeah.
And like
you're doing it right now, no?
Yeah, I am doing. Excuse me. It's like almond milk. I haven't done like pizzas and stuff like that. I'm gonna start playing with like.
Have you tried the Ripple chocolate pea protein milk? You can get it at Sprouts. It's so good. If you like chocolate milk. I
don't go to Sprouts. Sprouts is out of my budget right now. I go to Bonds.
And then number 2 is, do you like what the whole plant-based food diet has done to your body, and like what are your goals with your body?
Yes, I do. I really like what it has done with my body. At first, when I first did it, I dropped 20 pounds, like, I don't know, in 4 months. The weight was literally just shedding off of me. It was just gone.
Do you think a lot of it was muscle?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then a lot of it was figuring out what I can and can't eat, and then starting to eat normally again. And then I think I weighed like 130 while I was in New York. And then I'm 5'8", so I was pretty skinny, 125, 130. And then now I weighed myself yesterday, I weigh 147 pounds. But I've also gained a shit ton of muscle since I've been working out here.
Right.
Yeah, you have.
Because I was skinny when I came here last year. I don't know if you guys remember, like I was tiny. I was like 125 and now I'm 147.
Yeah.
So I've gained a lot of muscle, and during that time trying to figure out my diet and how to eat a lot more for this workout, for sure.
Well, all I need to finish off with saying is that like I have a whole new respect for you and like how much effort and work you have to put into like staying vegan or plant-based whole food, and then trying to play with it and eat like the amount of food you have to eat before you come to work out, and like you prep and all this stuff. Like a lot of people wake up in the morning and they're like, yeah, I didn't eat breakfast, or they come at 7 p.m.
They don't even do it with normal food, let alone the whole food plant-based.
Yeah, they come at 7 p.m. Well, I had lunch, I had like
ice cream cone.
Yeah. Ice cream man came on.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like people like don't put in the effort at a time, and it's like, and you initially started because of the health reason. Like you wanted to be like, it was for the health.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Actually something I missed when I got all my blood work done before I started this diet, and then I got my blood work after doing the diet for a year, and I saw significant like changes in
the good direction.
Yeah. Like my blood pressure was different. My cholesterol was totally like to 0. It was insane. I guess I don't even know what you call it, like your fat level. Your fat levels?
BMI?
Yeah, your BMI level.
Okay.
Mine
or your body fat percentage?
Yeah, body fat percentage was way less. It was pretty crazy. And then even blood sugar was it was definitely not as high as what it was. And it was kind of, at that time, it was a little below of what it should have been, just because I wasn't really exercising. So I was just eating salads all day and coffee and being in New York. But I saw a huge difference, for sure, in the healthy direction for the diet. But yeah, it's been a wild ride, for sure. Frustrating, but cool.
But
like, I know that if I don't eat breakfast before I come here, it's not going to be fun.
Yeah.
Like, I already know. I think sometimes when you guys look at me, you're like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm so mad at me before I get here.
One eye's half shut, the other eye's like, what? I'm good.
I'm great.
Yeah, I feel like when I look at you guys, like I want to kill someone or a deer in headlights, that's when I didn't eat the way I should have ate before coming here, for sure. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Guys.
That was really insightful.
And no noises,
so.
no weird noises.
No weird noises.
I thought you were going to do it with the camera.
There you go. Yeah, you needed one.
Okay, awesome. Well, if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to like. Where can they follow you at? If you want to shout out your socials.
I am
She's like, I don't even remember.
You don't know
Kaycee
your handle?
Corso. My handle is Kaycee Corso on
How do we link it?
Instagram, KayceeCorso.
Well,
Dope. Alright. Thank you guys. See you guys soon.
see ya.
Yes.